I actually am having the pleasure of being in his presence and be talking for the next 1 hour with an elder citizen. He's former president of ICANN and former president of the Institute of Management Consultants of Nigeria. And if I were to actually make the mistake of going into, his academic citations and professional citations, far too much of the program would have gone. So let me just tell you about, for example, just about 6, for example, fellowships that I noted. First, he's a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants. He's also a fellow Chartered Institute of Management Accountants of the UK. He's a fellow Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. He's a fellow of the Institute of Management Consultants of Nigeria and a fellow Business Recovery and Insolvency Practitioner Association of Nigeria. I just got to stop there because I'm talking about Alhaji Abdul Lateef Owoyemi, who is Otunba Shikuloye of Idowa, Ijebu. Yes. And I want to thank you very much for coming in. The other thing that I might say is that, that I would have said, but I can't say, is that you've spent a long and illustrious, life in the professions, and you retired, but I can't go there. I can't talk about retirement because you're 82 years old, but you are not retired. Not. You're still going strong. You are not retired. So thank you very much for coming on the program, sir.
God bless you.
First of all, you're a financial pro. You've worked in the sector. And the budget came out yesterday. We're looking at 10.33 trillion. I suppose it's the only thing I can do is ask any comments on that budget.
For a number of years now, I have stopped hailing budgets. Budget of revolution, budget of landmark, budget of consolidation. We have had 60 budgets in Nigeria, 60 of them. Only the first one, I think 59, that has not started the same way the last 59 had started, including that of President Buhari of 2019-2020. What is that start? Apology about non-implementation or sub-implementation of the previous year's budget. We are talking about 40% from what I heard about the media. 40%. Where does that put you in a university system that's highly regulated? The key issue, as far as I'm concerned, is not the amount or whatever, but the implementation. It's one thing to have so much amount of budget. What happens to the money? Where does it go? Do you get value for money? Is it invested in the right places, in the right time, and in the right measure? That's the issue. The key problem of Nigeria is that we have kept doing the same thing the same way year in, year out. And we cannot but fail to get the same results that we have been getting year in, year out. We'll talk about inflation. We'll talk about interest rate. We are not talking about human development. Budgets should be measured by the amount of the welfare that they transfer to the populace. What is the percentage of students that were out of school when the budget was to be done? What was the percentage after the budget was done? What was the level of employment in year 1? And what's the level of employment in year 2? Where do you want to go in year 3? That's how the budget should be looked at. Your interest rate is now 24%, 18%, 24%. In other countries, 6%, 3%. For where do you want to go with your interest rate in the next 1 year? You want to talk about your GDP. Where is it now? Where is it going to be in the next year? Who will produce it? We talk of we're going to have imported, exports of so much value, without saying which sector of the economy will produce which amount of the foreign revenue you are expecting. We talk of doing whatever we want to do without getting the industrial sector to commit to produce any particular output in the year concerned. So it's just a budget of expenditures. And traditionally, as a budget expert, you always tend to meet your costs without meeting your revenue. If you want to start an industry, you budget for salaries, you budget for overheads, you spend all of this 100%. But when it comes to delivering profitability and goodwill and goods to the community, you come to 10%, 15%. So we should not be so much enamored by the value or the size of the budget. What are we going to get out of it? How many workers will be paid their salaries on time? There are places in Nigeria now where some workers have not been paid for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. What kind of country is that? How, are you not killing people if you can't pay your staff when they should be paid? And it's not only in the public sector alone. Even you people with television and newspapers have the same thing with your staff. You don't pay them when they should be paid. Consequently, you encourage corruption and all kinds of malpractices. These are issues that we should all look at in Nigeria.
You see, the word has crept in, that word corruption,
yes,
has crept in very early in the conversation.
Yes.
It's almost like we can't say anything in Nigeria today. Even the budget deficit that is going to be financed by borrowing, among other things, there are people who have knocked that, Yet it seems isn't that the way that experts would go with these matters?
There's nothing wrong with borrowing. What is wrong with how do you spend the money? If you waste the money, or you keep doing roads that will only last for 5 years, then have to be redone again, you are wasting your time. You are wasting your resources. So it's not the issue of borrowing that matters, but what did you achieve with it? If we created if employment is now almost 40%, 30%, whatever, if we lift by 10% in 1 year, that's concrete achievement. So the issue is not how the budget is financed principally or whatever, but what did you achieve at the end of the budget year? That's what we should pay more attention on in Nigeria, rather than hailing what promises. We should focus on what has been achieved in the last 1 year by this government in terms of employment generation, in terms of added value, in terms of job creation, in terms of new products, in terms of new industries, in terms of industrial capacity utilization, in terms of power generation, in terms of road networks that are available for use, in terms of reduction in crime, in terms of how many university graduates have employment, how many universities are employed, how many percentage of the applicants. Those are the ways we should concentrate more on examining performance now than budgets are just promises.
But one will have to accept that it's not as if there have been no achievements over that entire field.
I didn't say there have not been.
You never said
what
so.
I'm saying is that we have not concentrated on accounting for what we have done in the past. We must, because you keep making the same mistake again.
Okay.
Yes.
If we don't sort of account for it, but is that, when you say not accounting for what has been done, evaluating that, is that normal?
We are doing things the way Europeans do it and Americans do it, because they have centuries of experience and data to go on. We can't copy them and expect to get any good result. No.
Okay.
No, we can't.
Okay.
We must develop what are the core things that Nigeria needs. For example, if in England you change interest rates by 1%, the government can predict how many more people you employ, how many more factories will close or expand, how many more exports you will generate. In Nigeria here, you cannot. You can't relate input to output, which is a problem. And we will never get there until we learn to collect our data and make sure that they are governing whatever we are doing.
Well, now that you come to data, because data is everything.
Yes.
Data is everything. It doesn't matter what aspect of our life. This is the way it is. What is the problem there? As someone who's been in the public sector for quite a while, you go back, you've also, and you are a consultant still, you've consulted in various, what is the problem? We keep on saying data, and nobody has moved, apparently, to get ourselves a data bank of relevant figures, relevant information. We have the Federal Office of Statistics, but is that it?
Yes, the Bureau has improved a lot. It has improved considerably over the past 5 years, quite a lot. But it is still not where it is. Ideally, every important town and local government should have a table for the Federal Bureau of Statistics. For example, in Djibouti now, if I ask them how many industries have sprung up in Djibouti in the last 5 years, they cannot tell me. because they're not on the ground. How many Ijebu people are unemployed? They cannot tell me because they're not on the ground. If we can't run this country well on guesswork, you are guessing.
But that's very hard to believe, considering the professionals that are available.
They're in Abuja. Look, there's nobody in my hometown, Idawa. Nobody in Djibouti that's collecting data. All right, like in Djibouti now, how many new small shops have opened in the last 1 year? If it's in America, you will know. If it's in England, you will know.
Okay.
Exactly.
But here, you're pretty much on your...
You don't know nothing. You're just guessing.
So how are we doing our governance?
And again, the budget that we are doing in Nigeria here is the budget that is done in England, where you have all the data. But it can't work because those budgets are not, are from top down. You do a budget from down up. What do people in Ijebu need? For example, they need water. Who knows about that? Who is catering for that? They need roads. Which roads do they need? You don't. Somebody sits there in Abuja and says, we are going to put a hospital somewhere in Ijebu. You are not relating to the needs of the community. A budget that is going to work for Nigeria must start from the grassroots upwards. We cannot carry on doing what we used to do for the past 60 years. Just knock some figures, bring your book out, change this one, change. No, it will not work.
But I don't think that is being done anymore. I mean, by what we're hearing, yes, that they're spending so much. They have bigger offices now. They have budget offices. I mean, there's a lot more going on, which would seem to be flowing with what you are saying.
Let somebody from the budget office tell me what Djibouti people need now.
Okay, that's the point.
You cannot tell me.
The point you're making is that
exactly,
it's not from the bottom up.
It's not. They are not fact-based. They are based on assumptions in Abuja.
And that this is the way of other countries, but that's not the way that's going to work for us.
Those other countries have data that have been built over the years that are very accurate. As I told you, increase interest by 1% in England. They will tell you how many more people were employed and how many more factories will close. Here in Nigeria, nobody knows what will happen if you do anything because you don't have the data. The Office of Statistics must have an office in every major town and local government in Nigeria that feed to the local government area, from local government area to the zonal area, senatorial area, to the to the state and up to Abuja. It is based on those facts now that you know what you want. You must also make input. You must start from the village level, community level. What do you need in your people, in your area? We want a road done, we want a hospital, we want a nursery or whatever. Then you build it up gradually like that to the local government level, and then we extract which ones will be done by local government, which ones will be done by the state government, and which ones will be done by the federal government. Is the one that the state remits or the budgetary consultation scheme sent to the federal government that will be in the federal budget. Not you just sit in Abuja and you say we want Nigeria needs a national airline. Nigeria doesn't need. All these things are not having impact on the community. Poverty is not getting down because the budgets we are doing are not community based.
Okay.
Yes. Now, so we must change the system. It's not going to be easy.
I was going to say
because every change is difficult. But many of us in England and America came first class and led the classes where we studied. We got prizes.
Yeah, but part of the...
But we're not using them in Nigeria here.
Because when you come home, at the end of the day, the technocrats will do what they do best. But the political power, oftentimes, the decision is with them to, as it were, decide what we're going to take, what we're going to work with. And talking about figures, scanty as they are, if I'm saying that without conceding because maybe I don't know enough, but I trust when you say that it's not at the level it can be. So what then would be the situation or the part of corruption in all of this? Because whatever you have can still be distorted if people do not have this whole sincerity of purpose. If it is all pervasive, we hear cliches like if you don't kill corruption, it'll kill us. We have these kind of things. I know that you've been working on something you call the movers of corruption.
Yes, I want to applaud what President Buhari has been doing on corruption. He's been doing his best, but it's like you have a farm that produces marijuana.
Yes,
the marijuana is carted in bags, and the customs or NDLA seizes loads of marijuana and destroys them and punish the person concerned. That is just one aspect. That is now being done very well. But the plantation of marijuana is not being destroyed. Corruption has three basic foundations. If you don't attack those three foundations and deal with them, you are wasting your time. One, pressure is number one. The democracy we are practicing is not the type we are supposed to be practicing. We are practicing monetized democracy. Money plays too much an impact on our democracy at every level.
Can we afford it?
We can't afford it.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure. Because, I mean...
Also, the danger it poses, it will always fuel corruption. As long as an honest, sincere, responsible, experienced, very decent person cannot win an election in Nigeria, unless they are stealing tons and tons and tons of money, the country will never do well. That is pressure. If you monetize your assets to get elected to any office, nobody can tell you not to make that money back immediately you get to office. You then be looking for juicy appointments around there. Why should appointment be juicy? In England and America, do they have juicy appointments? They don't. They only have powerful institutions. Not juicy. What is this juice all over? It's poison we're eating. And we're talking of juicy appointments. Yes, that's what's killing Nigeria. That's number two. After justification, there's opportunity. If your mother is ill now or your wife is ill and you don't have money to take her to hospital, then your company gives you 50,000 to 100,000 naira to keep. You will try to find a way of taking part of it to go and look after your mother now. That's under pressure. That
is human nature.
Because you're under pressure.
And that is the way things are, even though it is wrong.
It is. Let the electoral system be revamped 20,000 times, and let the electoral system be done by computer and even by air. You will see be getting the same kind of result we are getting now in our electoral processes, because it's all monetized. Only somebody who has stolen, who has made a lot of money. How many businessmen are you seeing going to politics? They can't afford the risk and the terms of losing it. But a politician who has made some civil servant, public servant, who had made some money somewhere, can always go and risk it in the hope of, when I make it, I'm going to make more money even from politics. It's the best paying profession now in Nigeria. It shouldn't be like that. It should be for service. But now, once it is so monetized, because of the way the system has been set up, if you don't have money, you can't win even local. You can't win a local government election in your hometown. You can't, because you are a salary earner, you are a presenter or whatever. Yeah, but unless you have made some money awarding contracts somewhere.
Yes.
Exactly. That's so. When you've gone to that election, you must make your money back and take some money more for the next election. Opportunity. You are in charge of money. You are in charge of approving money. You are in charge of dispensing money or controlling those who are spending money.
That's opportunity.
That's opportunity. Justification. Third element. After all, it's my money that the public took before they elected me. Why should I not take money back from the public? After all, that's the only thing that you can do now to be important in Nigeria. You may have 20,000 PhDs in Nigeria. You are nobody unless you have money. You may be a professor of any science. Unless you have plenty of money, you are not reckoned with. You even now see armed robbers and kidnappers being given a PhD or doctorate degrees of universities in Nigeria because they build a warehouse or something for a university. That's all about it. So the values have changed.
Is this changed or collapsed?
Well, it is not collapsed completely, but
okay.
It's changed. It's changed for the worse, but it can change for the better if we begin to attack those three elements of corruption. That's for real corruption. First of all, pressure. If you don't remove pressure, the civil servants, for example, up to 1976, used to go to work in one suit. He's happy with it, one suit and one shirt. He doesn't even mind.
Okay.
He knows that once he retires, at the age of 70 or 65, he's going to get his pension and live reasonably well. He has no problem. What happened in 76? The purge that took place in 1976 purged away both the good and the bad together. So those who survived the purge learned a lesson that the civil service, public service, is not that secure. You cannot predict now that you will work diligently, you don't break any rules, you retire gracefully. No. Somebody can be brought from nowhere, somebody you taught in school, can be brought to become your boss. You get disillusioned. Or somebody says you don't like your face, you are just fired with immediate effect. That destroyed the morale of the civil servants. Therefore, those who survived it became wiser. Anything can happen. No, let me grab as much as possible in case I'm removed, or I am disillusioned, or somebody is junior to me, is put on top of me, and I don't have any more interest in the service. So that, and also the lack of pension payments regularly, made a lot of public servants to become money wise, street wise. Like, this job I am in, I must make my own money out of it. Again now, some positions are being sold in some institutions in Nigeria. Certain positions are seen to be juicy. So to get to those positions, you have to buy it. Once you pay the money that you get that position, there is no way you are not going to steal or do corruption wherever you are posted to, so that can make your money back and profit on your investment.
But this doesn't sound very encouraging. This is not the way societies are run, because where is efficiency in all of this?
Let me tell you.
Where is efficiency in all of this, and how can we grow? We talk about education, the quality of our education. Yes. All of this adds to efficiency. None of that is considered here. Apparently, there's a matter of trying to level things between the have-nots and those that have, and often, as a result of that, we might just find ourselves with incompetent people in charge.
Nigeria is that Nigerians are all optimists.
99%
of Nigerians are optimists.
Okay.
If anybody is stealing money, you don't need to worry about it. You wait for your own turn to steal your own money, and then everybody will be happy. That's what keeps Nigeria going. No, if you pick 100 students now living in Nigerian universities, ask them to list what jobs they want to do for you. I did a program for the state government, Civil Service Commission, for the permanent secretaries on challenge of national rebirth. I said I will not read any paper. We'll do question and answer. Question 1, about how much would you require to become a governor of Ogun State? A, 100 million. B, 500 million. C, above 1 billion. Everybody marked above 1 billion. And there are directors and PAMSECs and directors. That kind of money.
Everybody,
yes, PAMSEC and directors.
They chose above 1 billion.
Exactly.
Okay.
To make that kind of money, do you have that kind of money in cash or in assets? They said it will be in assets. So you have to monetize the assets. Everybody monetize the assets before you can go to election. When you get the election, to retain your victory, about how much will it cost you in terms of litigation and all the other costs, hidden and unhidden, associated with it. 10 million, 100 million, 200 million, above 200 million you have to spend. If you now win the election and the governor is your cousin or your brother, you will advise him: A, follow due process. B, make sure you bring your money back. Everybody mark B, make your money back. To make the money back, what will you do? A, advertise tenders and give to the best bidders, or ensure that we will make money out of it. Everybody mark the way, ensure you make money out of it. Next question: to make money out of it, he will do it alone or in cooperation with some other people. Everybody mark in cooperation with some other people. Next question: which other people? His wife, his driver, or the public servants? Everybody mark the public servants.
But it's not funny.
Yes.
In fact, it's because this is a reality that you are narrating. Yes. You're not making this up.
Where's the question? If your son graduated in a very nice diploma, first class honors, and he wants to get a job, where would you want him to have a job? A, Abuja, B, Ogun State, or C, B, Lagos State, or C, Ogun State. Everybody ranked them. And A was Abuja, B was Lagos State, C was Ogun State, and an Ogun State region. What informed your choice? Geography, love of the country, or opportunities? Everybody marked opportunities. Opportunities to do what? Next question: to serve or to make money? Everybody marked to make money. Okay, if it's to be posted in Abuja to a job, Ministry of National Orientation, B, Anti-Corruption Agency, and C, Petroleum Resources. Where you would want him? Everybody mark Petroleum Resources.
Now, of course, this is an extreme case scenario.
Those are the facts of the issue.
Well, it's a very interesting anecdote, yes. But not everybody's like that. Thank God.
You are right. There are exceptions.
There are exceptions, and that is why this country...
Maybe 5% or 10%, you would not, like I would humbly say, I'm not taking any couple of bribe in my life. So far, I've never. And there are many people like me who can stand anywhere and say, look, we have never done it. But the majority cannot afford the inconvenience of what that means.
Because of the things you explained earlier, the pressure.
The pressure is that. Not only that, when people get to know you to know who you are, if you are incorruptible, they know you are.
Yeah.
And they avoid you as a plague. They avoid you as much as possible. They will not say because you are competent and good, therefore come and head something in the ministry or come and help the government. No.
No.
Because the person who is in charge wants to recover his investment that he put there. And he knows you are not going to help him to recoup it. You are going to disturb him from making the money you make.
This is well known. Yes. What you are sharing now, when I say well known, now you've helped by saying that, look, it's going on in case you didn't know it was going on. But it's not as if it's a hopeless situation. That's why there's all this trouble, all this work, EFCC, ICPC, sermonizing. Everybody is working that we can't leave things the way they are. I'll go on a quick break now. Yes. When we come back, we'll include calls from home and also your ideas about what would be the way out for us, yes, what needs to be done. Yes. So stay with us, please. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and continuing with our conversation with 82-year-old Otunba Lateef Owoyemi, Otunba Shikuloye of Idoa, Ijebu. And thank you very much once more for coming on. It was a bit depressing, the first half of the program, because it's one of those things where the truth is scaring you, the actuality. Because how do we say to our children now, that all the things that they're reading, that they're studying, that they are real, by which I mean all the things about government, all the things about civics, all the things about law and order, our kids can see that nothing is going on out there in the real world. Do you have any ideas on how we might even come out of this?
Yes, I have some, because I've done quite a lot of writing on these issues. One, you have two primary institutions now that are dealing with corruption in Nigeria, EFCC and ICPC.
Yes.
Both about the same job. That should stop. There is a need. Let EFCC continue to deal with those who are carrying marijuana bags like they are doing now. That's what practice corruption. But ICPC must be changed to eradication. It's independent Corrupt Practice Commission. Independence should now become Eradication of Corruption Practice Commission.
Okay.
Yes.
Eradication of Corrupt Practices Commission.
ECPC. Which will now be dealing with the three fundamentals I raised. Institution by institution. What are the pressures in this particular establishment, institution? In the terms of political office holders, there is the issue of monetization of democracy. How can that be demonetized? Let that body be doing things about that. Are you going to change the electoral system, for example? Like, for example, only one election in one day for every position. One election for the parties concerned. Whichever party wins at the local government, at the local councillor, appoints the councillor, nominates the councillor. Whoever wins at the overall area, appoints the chairman of the council. Whoever wins at the House of Assembly area, appoints the area, nominates the House of Assembly person. Whoever wins at the House of Assembly federal legislature area, appoints that person. Whoever wins at the senatorial zone, appoints the senatorial one. Whoever wins overall in the state, appoints the governor and the deputy governor. Whoever wins nationally, appoints the president and the vice president. In that case, pressure on individuals to amass wealth while they are working, and reinvest it in politics and steal more money when they get to politics will be reduced. Now, if you have ECPC, Eradication of Corrupt Practices Commission, they will then be following on area by area. What are the pressures in this particular institution that you have to remove? What are the opportunities for corruption that should be removed? What are the justification for corruption that should be removed? Now, in terms of, say, opportunities now, there is a project evaluation, what do you call it in the National Assembly? When they go and inspect industries that are projects that government is doing.
I know oversight.
Oversight is a project oversight lawmaking. Yori, is project oversight lawmaking or not? Is it?
Well,
it's not lawmaking.
Project oversight
isn't
lawmaking.
Exactly. It's part of execution. Why should the legislature be involved in execution when they are not part of the executive? So you should remove oversight function away from legislation. Let them face pure legislation, and let the executive do projects, manage it, control it, and supervise it. You can't ask the legislature to go and be looking at review judgments in the courts as part of due process oversight. Why are they not having oversight over judiciary? Why must it be over judiciary oversight over what how the budgets have been spent? No. You have a accountant general, you have an auditor general. Those are enough, and you have all kinds of institutions in these ministries to control projects delivery. That should not be part of it in terms of that area. Then, in terms of pressure, what does a judge earn? What does he need? How do you provide it? I believe a judge should be able to retire and have a decent accommodation, possibly in an area wherever he was born, and in one of the principal cities, Lagos or Abuja, at government expense, and be guaranteed that throughout his life we always have a car at government expense.
Okay, so they can work out all those details,
they can be worked out,
so that people know what the path is.
Exactly, and you know the cost of losing it. If you know that as a judge, you're going to retire gracefully, you are going to have a decent income. Mm-hmm. Somebody's going to pay for your annual leave abroad with a star code. Mm-hmm. You're going to be able to educate your children. When you retire, you have to have a house in your hometown and one in another principal city. Why then do you have to be acquiring things and selling judgments? You don't have to, because the pressure has been taken off you.
What you're suggesting, and thank you for this conversation. Yes. What you're suggesting here, it seems it would require a revolutionary bent of mind on behalf of whoever was going to catalyze this process. And even if that person, were catalytic to it, where are the other revolutionaries on ground?
You are very correct. You are very, very correct. We are already in a revolution in Nigeria, whether we like it or not.
Okay.
We are. I can't afford now to travel in the night. I can't afford to go to any nightclub or wherever to go and look at anything in the evenings. Some people, if I'm some parts of Nigeria, I will not go because I'm afraid of the road transport, and even between Kaduna and Abuja, people are scared now of moving around. What is revolution except for that? If Nigeria does not take proper step by the legislature passing revolutionary laws, it will be forced on them sooner or later.
Because as you said that you are afraid, because of the society hasn't changed, it's no more safe. One of the reactions to it is that no problem, we just buy bulletproof cars.
It did not help.
So with a bullet, I have 2 bulletproof cars.
What about
people
your house?
are moving
what
around.
What about in your bedroom?
No, exactly.
Are you going to sleep in your bed?
Are you going to turn yourself into a fortress?
Go to invest in bulletproof vehicles. Would your wife go to shop in a bulletproof? Anybody can be kidnapped.
Of course.
Anybody can be kidnapped. Even your guards may kidnap you for money.
I just made that remark to
so
suggest
therefore,
how
all these bulletproof things will not work.
Although people are carrying on as if that is a solution.
The name bulletproof is the happiness of the masses. That's your bulletproof.
Yeah.
And if the National Assembly people don't pass those laws that will revolutionize Nigeria in the interest of the masses, one day the masses will oversweep the National Assembly and nobody will be able to do anything about it. How many people will the soldiers kill?
But if you're waiting for that in either the state assemblies or the national assemblies, it seems you're expecting that they themselves are, no matter how mild, revolutionaries at heart themselves. Is that the impression you have?
Listen, look, God will not allow injustice and unfairness to keep growing. It must collapse sooner or later. It must collapse sooner or later.
So it's not a hopeless situation.
It is not, and I can
but
tell
it is
you,
a dire one.
Nigerians are extremely creative and patient.
And resilient.
Yeah, resilient. So I assume we are going to come out of this. That's what I'm talking like this. Mm-hmm. It's part of the system of bringing about change. The change will have to come. The earlier the leaders begin to bring it about voluntarily, the better for everybody. They can then control it. But if they allow things to get out of hand, and the masses rise up and begin to fight and begin to destroy things, it will be taken off their hands, and revolution will produce a bad result at the end of the day. But if the leaders are wise now, at every level, judiciary, legislative, executive, they must be thinking revolutionarily. What do Nigerians do? For example, you are doing roads. It's an avenue for corruption. Yeah, all our roads are still available today. What happened? How come that happened? It's the same forest that were bulldozed to make those are the ones being bulldozed now. Some governor will do a road in year 1. In 6 years, 7 years, the roads are gone. Where are the roads gone to? Whereas the ones Awolowo did 40 years ago, 50 years ago, are still there to be used. There must be a standard, for example. I expect the National Works Council, National Council on Works, to have a standard of the kind of roads that we made in Nigeria, state by state, so that you do a road that will last for 30, 50, 60 years. Not you do a road for 5 years, then the whole thing is gone, you do another one.
And it is explained,
exactly.
And the contract is adjusted.
It's unfortunate.
And good morning, Mr. George. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling.
And good morning to your guest.
Good morning.
Uncle Yori, your guest is an embodiment of simplicity. I find it difficult to believe that he is the owner of the CV you read out at the beginning of the program. And I'm just wondering how you managed to fish him out. Listening to him, his tone to me, from the tone of his speech, you see a man that can still live for the next 50 years. And you say he's already 82 years old. So I congratulate him and thank him for all he's been saying. He has said so many things, but let me just react to one aspect of it, that of budget. He says budget is from up down instead of from down up. And that is the reason why our budget system is not realistic. But we have people that we elected to prepare the budget, believing that they know our system, they know the needs of our people. Unfortunately, they do not. If you ask the average lawmaker, either at the national level or at the state level, they are not able to give you a detailed explanation of what goes on in their constituencies. Yet, we are made to pay for the so-called constituency projects they claim they organize. And you don't see the constituency projects in any constituency. So I want him to please expatiate further on our electoral system. He has already said something. What does he think can lead us out of putting wrong votes in our elective position? Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in, Mr. George. The people that we put in offices, from state houses of assembly to national assembly, we put them there. To states,
we don't put them there. We don't. Their money put them there. When I left ICANN presidency, and I thought I would go to the Senate in Ijebu, of course I worked with Awolowo in the Committee of Friends when it was forming the party, UPN. They said, yes, Oga, we know you very well. You are very competent. You have been local government chairman. But you can't afford the money for a senator that the senator will need to spend. You cannot afford it. We'll lose the election if we pick you. Simply because I had not acquired illicit wealth. So it is not going to be easy. But as long as you keep going through the same route 1,000 times, you're going to be passing the same landmark 1,000 times and get to the same destinations 1,000 times. we must devise completely fresh methods of electing people. For example, if you say, look, to be electable for office, you must go from the lower level up.
Okay.
And not only that, some leaders of the society, according to some, for example, in Islam, a leader doesn't just say, I want to contest. You go and bring him to come and contest. As long as we have this system whereby people are saying, I'm going to be governor, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that, it will never work.
Okay. We
must devise a scheme whereby people, for example, if a community elects their own leaders at the local level, and at they then meet to appoint somebody who will be in the local government level, from there, those who meet appoint somebody going to go to the House of Assembly. From among those, it cannot be by this one man, one vote that we are doing now. That is all monetized. It's a matter of whom you give money to that votes for you.
And how about the Godfather's part in the whole thing?
The Godfathers are there now because of the system.
Oh, okay.
Yes, like somebody like I mentioned this Professor Adeliji of late, very erudite and well respected Nigerian. He came to me and said, Otunba, I want my son to go to House of Assembly. Can you please help him in the door? I said, I would. Then I went to the political leaders. They told me, Otunba, don't worry, let the boy wait. The man who is there now is giving us bag of rice and money every time he comes from Abuja. He's going to go back. So let that young man wait. Can you imagine? Because the people that you take decision are already looking for money from the person who is representing them. In this country today, you can have two politicians. One, a very good person, he goes to Abuja and brings about 30 laws, 40 laws. The other one only brings money for you to buy rice and food. Which one do they vote for? They vote for the one that brings money, not the one that brings development.
Development laws and all of that.
So the whole philosophy and the whole perspective is all changed already. You need a revolutionary system to change the people's orientation back to what it should be. If we don't do it, we are wasting time. Eventually, we are going to have the problem sooner or later. That thing will explode.
But society frowns at revolutionaries, because they don't want any interruption to the status quo.
But they make it happen.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, sir.
Yes.
Yakub, good morning, sir. And I'm so sorry for keeping you waiting. Please go ahead.
No problem, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
And then good morning to Baba in the studio.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. There is one thing Baba said earlier that caught my attention here as well. He made mention that some roads was done during the Baba Awolowo era.
Yes.
Those of the roads still remain the way it is. But if you look at some of the projects that our governor, the chairman of local government as case may be, even some of the federal roads as well. If you go there today, they will repair it today. Before 1 month is gone. And then there's a reason for that, sir. You see, Baba made mention something earlier that some of our legislation, they will say they want to do oversight functions, and then when they are going to the MDA will be the one providing the car, they will be the one providing the hotel, they will be the one providing accommodation for them and us and as well. Then these people that are providing all those things, how do you go to monitor what they are doing? And then the only thing is that they will not be doing to trade Nigerian citizens in between themselves.
Okay.
We are coming tomorrow. And then when we get there, this is what we are coming here for. You have already notified somebody that wants to go and do oversight function on. Let me give you a typical example quickly. Here in the Peru, there's one road from St. Joseph down to number 1 here. Usually, last 2 months or 3 months have case to be. Maybe it is Lagos State government or local government. I don't know whoever did that road. They repaired the road. If you pass through this place today, nobody will tell you that this road was repaired last 2 months or 3 months ago. Everything is already washed away again. Why is it that? Because the councillor that representing us in our locality here, maybe he's already taken his own share. And then the representative that representing us, Lagos State House of Assembly, maybe he's already taken his own share. Why is he going? Who is going to call them to attention that come? The road that you repaired 2 months ago is already washed away. It takes a revolutionary people like me and you and ordinary Nigerian citizens to be able to recall our legislation. But how do you go to recall them again? It's also difficult. I don't just know how you going to go about it. It is only government allow will give us way out. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much. Everything we threw it at the feet of the Almighty, as he said. This is the situation. Of course, they'll be working at it. We can't throw up our hands in our exasperation.
Let me give you an advice that's comparable to Nigeria. There are a lot of seasoned, trustworthy, and reliable professionals who have retired, who are apolitical, because they can't afford the smear and the nonsense of politics. If this country wants to run well, at the local government level, at the state government level, and even at the federal level, you must have what you call management advisory committee of experts. Each institution should have about 6 to 9 or 10 people who are hand-chosen for their intellect, capability, and knowledge, to retired people to assist each ministry or agency in terms of what is implementing, how is implementing its budgets. These people are not politicians. They are not interested in politics.
Sorry. Okay, Dr. Hafiz in the UK has called in. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Dr. Hafiz, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Dr. Hafiz.
First of all, I do commend you, Uncle Yori, as you are called every time I watch the program on a daily basis.
You're too kind, sir. Please, it's just Yori. Call me Yori.
It's fine. So, I thank you for bringing Baba
Otunba Owoyemi.
Otunba Lateef Owoyemi. First of all, I will be asking you for a favor. So the favor is, if you can have this program extended as they did for your views. So if we have the 1 hour for the first session, then the last 30 minutes for bringing people like Otunba to this program so that we can enjoy their wealth of experience.
But we have Otunba for a whole 1 hour this morning. But point noted.
Thank you. But that's not enough, to be honest.
All right.
But now going straight to my reason for calling.
Sure.
So I will be happy if I can have the contact of Otunba.
Okay.
Basically, I work in the university. I teach in one of the university in London, and I'm doing a research into corruption, actually. So because he's spoken a lot about corruption, and I noted the 3 basic characteristics of corruption, which
corruption
would
movers.
be nice to,
the movers of corruption.
which would be nice to do a further research on. So the request is if he can be pleased to give me his contact, or after the program, if you can link me up with him, so that I have a chat with him at the end.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Hafiz, is that it? Okay. He just wanted to register that. Look, he's actually researching corruption over in the UK. I don't know. Maybe by towards the end of the program, maybe I'll just if you provide it, maybe put an email address
I'll do that.
so you can then make contact with you.
Yes.
Okay then.
Now, another issue I want to raise is the issue of youth unemployment.
Youth unemployment.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe to assuage the mind of the leaders, the new youth empowerment. You ask yourself, how many youths empowered 5 years ago are still at work today? Maximum 2-3 years, job is gone. So let this government commission a study. How much has been spent in the last 5 years on youth empowerment, and how many jobs of a sustainable order have been created? It will come to almost 100 million naira per job, because you are spending money on the wrong direction. A young man that just left university Some of them are very, very brilliant and very good. Mm-hmm. But you ask him to go and start school, create employment himself. Me, that have been in practice for 42 years, is the feast and famine. Quite a number of times we've stumbled to get up again and carry on. Nationally, overall in the whole world, even in America, about 80% of new startups collapse within 3 years. In Nigeria here, if we take a study, 90% of those youth empowerment projects have gone. It is the wrong thing to do. A young man is supposed to start employment, creating something, maybe doing soap. He will prepare the soap himself. He will market the soap himself. He will go and collect the money for the sale himself. He is the personal manager himself. Where is the continuity? Then if you yourself want to go and buy a soap in the market, your son is producing soap, Liver Brothers is producing soap, which one would you buy in the market? You are not going to buy your son's soap because you know it's quality. You can't compete with Liver Brothers. And you ask these people to go and be doing things and competing, how are they? They cannot. What should be done is to empower middle-aged people, people of 50 years and above to 60. Get them to live paid employment. But then you must create a job registry for Nigeria where every unemployed person has his name registered, and you draw people from that register to be employed by those who are more mature, who know what is wanted and who wants it, to be able to employ them.
So you're going back to our records. We've got to get smarter with our records.
Not only records.
Because you were saying that we don't have figures.
Before there used to be a labor office in Nigeria, where people like us got employment from. Everybody wants to employ somebody, will contact that labor office, and they will, from that register, they will provide the candidates. What you are saying now is that encourage those who are experienced in business and administration, civil service and public sector, above 10 years work experience, encourage them, leverage them out to go and set up businesses, give them capital, and pay half their salary of the workers, and the government pays the remaining half. Provided they employ 4 graduates each, you find a more durable employment situation rather than this ones you're asking youth corpers to go and start work on their own or to go and start farm or wherever. It won't work.
I think we're going to have to leave it here. As Dr. Hafiz said when he called in from the UK, 1 hour isn't even enough. And then they wonder, I don't know if I could give your email out.
Lateef Owoyemi at hotmail.com.
Okay. So there you have it.
Lateef Owoyemi at hotmail.com.
Okay. The other one I can see is Lateef Owoyemi, one word, at hotmail.com. At hotmail.com.
Yes.
Lateef Owoyemi at hotmail.com.
Yes.
Maybe so people would make contact and then could take it from there. I want to thank you very much, Otunba, for coming on the program. And the drive down from Idoa that you came this morning, and hope you have a smooth flight back. Thank you very much for sharing your experience and your perspectives with us.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Yes, thanks a lot.
So that's our program, and join us tomorrow, please, for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.